Jennifer with Mindful Movement, Mindful Living, and I am here today making a really quick and simple and healthy recipe, which is my warm quinoa and greens salad. It is fall, and I love salads in general, but this time of year I like to warm it up a little bit because it is getting cold outside. So this is a really simple one I like to make often, and I'm making it today. So here we go. I just, in this cast iron pan, I just finished sauteing half of a medium onion in here. So that's just finished with a little bit of, just a little bit of oil, of olive oil in there. So that just finished. And now I have right here a cup of cooked quinoa. A lot of times I actually just made a batch today, but often I'll just make a big batch and keep it in the refrigerator so I can just sort of scoop it into recipes, you know, as I go throughout the week. It's easy. So I have just already cooked a cup of quinoa. So I'm just gonna toss it in here with the olive oil and the onion and just let that just sort of toast up a little bit and warm up. It smells so good as it starts to saute. So it's already cooked, just kind of getting, the quinoa just sort of soaks up the flavor of the sauteed onion too, which is really nice. So just kind of mix that around, make sure it doesn't burn. And just kind of let that warm up a little bit. This is easy too. I actually don't mind having leftovers. It's easy to kind of just, if you have extra, just kind of toss it back in the pan, warm it up again later when you're ready to have some more. So I don't mind leftovers, but this is easy. This is nice. I love baking as well, but cooking is nice as opposed to baking in that you don't have to be so exact with your measurements. So if you like a little more quinoa or a little less quinoa, or if you're cooking for more people or less people, it's really easy just to adjust the amount, which is one of the beauties of cooking, right? So it's really nice. So this is actually twisting up really nicely. Good. So from here, I'm gonna add, now you could add whatever protein you want. Sometimes I use beans, you could use meat. I just happen to have just some cubed up, just grilled tofu, just cubed. There goes my olive oil. Luckily it didn't spill. So I just happen to have some cubed up grilled tofu. Also, same thing, I had it in my fridge already, so I can just toss it in. So I just cubed it. This is about a cup also of the tofu, so I just have this. I'm just gonna stick it in here and let this kind of warm up a little bit too. This is so nice. I mean, salads, I think often we think about as, you know, a real summertime meal. They don't seem as hearty for these colder months, but if you just warm it up, and I love the cast iron, this is really nice. I'm using this spoon, a wooden spoon also works, so that I don't scratch my skillet up, because often I do have a lot of metal utensils, but just make sure if you're using cast iron, you don't scratch it. So I have this, and then, so I like it warm. I'm not trying to like cook it to a crisp or anything. I just have this on like a sort of a medium heat right now, and it's just sort of warming up in here nicely. So it just, the flavors sort of integrate. Tofu is another one that's really nice because it just kind of takes on the flavor of whatever you're putting it with. Really, it's kind of like a blank canvas, right? So this will just kind of absorb the flavors of the olive oil, the sauteed onion, everything kind of mixes in. And then I have from here again, about a cup of just chopped, I just kind of diced up some tomatoes. These are from my sister's garden actually, and probably the last of the season because we're supposed to get a little snow on Friday. So this might be the last time I see a locally grown tomato at my house anyway, until spring. So here we go, so in it goes, or for summer really. You just hear it kind of sizzling a little bit. So I put the tomatoes in as one of the last things. The very last thing will be the greens because I don't like them to get too mushy. I just like them to be warmed up so everything's about the same temperature, but I'm not looking for them to be really mushy. Now, if you like a mushier tomato, just pop them in a little bit earlier. You put them in the same time you put the protein in. and then they'll be a little bit more, softer. Almost done. So everything's nice and warmed up now and mixed. So I'm just gonna take my greens. So this is just, right here I have about 3 cups of greens. These, it seems like so much right now, doesn't it? But it wilts down. It wilts down a lot when you start to warm up the greens. So I love greens. So I put a whole bunch in here. So this is 3 cups. It sounds like a ridiculously large salad. It looks, I would never sit down and eat a salad this big. But when it wilts down, it's small. And this won't be 1 serving anyway. I'm sharing this with my daughter. And again, even if you're making it just for yourself, the leftovers, it's easy. If you have leftovers, just toss them in the fridge, and when you're ready to eat it, just toss it back in the pan, warm it up a little bit, and you're good to go. So it's really nice. It smells so good in here now. I love it. I love, love, love the smell of sauteed onions with olive oil. So good. So I just let these cook down a little bit. And same thing, if you like them really wilty, just keep them in a little bit longer. I like them to warm up, just to kind of wilt in and kind of integrate with the other ingredients in the salad, which is exactly what's happening right now. And I just keep it on about a medium heat. I'm experimenting with this burner actually. I've never cooked on this before. I usually cook on my oven, obviously on my stovetop, but the camera angle just doesn't work the way it's set up. So I'm trying this little burner out today, and it's actually pretty handy, isn't it? So I like it. Good little find. So this is almost done. Good. So this is really nice. This is now, everything's wilted, everything's warm. It has like a little sizzly sound you can probably hear. And then the last thing that I like to just put on, it's just a little more olive oil at the end, just a little kind of finishing instead of a dressing. So I won't put a salad dressing on this. I just do a little drizzle at the end. And then it's good to go. Maybe a little bit of, salt or seasoning if you'd like to, to taste when you sit down to eat it. But yeah, so maybe a little finishing salt too if you wanted something like that. But from here, I'm gonna take the heat off. And then I'm just gonna put a little more olive oil. I used this plain one when I was doing the onion. I'm gonna use, since this is more like my dressing now that I'm putting on top, I'm gonna use a little more flavorful one. This is a rosemary infused olive oil, which I really like. Now, you can make this, I'm sure yourself, but there's a little shop in my town that makes this, and it's so good. It's called the Little Shop of Olive Oils. You can see the label. It's really nice. So it's just a rosemary infused. It tastes so good, and I save it for the end. I don't cook it in this. I just save it for the end like a dressing, and then I just kind of drizzle this on top, and voila, it's all done. So that is my quinoa and greens salad. So nice and warm. It's a nice salad that takes you from the warmer months into these chillier months. You can take your salad with you even if it's starting to snow outside. So yeah, so this, I hope you enjoy this as well. But this is definitely a favorite of mine for fall, to kind of transition into the new season. Some warmer, heartier flavors, but still a lot of the favorites from our summer salads at the same time. So I hope you enjoy just this really simple, healthy, seasonal fall recipe. It is definitely one of my favorites, and hopefully it'll be one of yours too. Thank you so much.